This is my daughter's room. This is the room me and my son share. We sleep together. It's not that big, but it's our home. I was able to afford it before the pandemic. Since the pandemic started, I've had 3 landlords and 3 60-day eviction notices. My first landlord eviction was June 30th, 2020. My second landlord was September 28th, 2020. And yesterday's 60-day notice eviction, I'm supposed to be out now, April 10th.
Patricia Mendoza is one of over 30 million Americans who've been at risk of eviction in the country's most severe housing crisis since the Great Depression. That's according to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition. Mendoza, who's a single mom, has lived in her apartment for almost 4 years and says before COVID, she always paid rent on time.
Do double plates. I was working at a non-emergency medical transportation company. I would take disabled patients to their doctor appointments. April 5th was the day I actually got laid off, so it was hard. PP, you're in class?
Good morning, and then my name.
Oh. I don't have savings to fall back on. I applied for unemployment. Unemployment didn't come in till June. I hadn't paid April, May, or June rent. Not only am I afraid of getting evicted, I'm afraid of the back debt. Since you're on break right now, come and eat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna owe $6,875 that I don't know where it's gonna come from. I've had 7 asthma attacks since March, and I know that's due to anxiety and stress. We like almond breeze, huh? But then we have to eat the regular milk when we're low on funds. I can't just go out there and find another job. I can't work the front lines. Because what if I get sick? Who will take care of my kids?
Working moms have had a uniquely difficult time in the pandemic. The service sector, which includes restaurants, hotels, and salons, employs about 43% of all women, but only about 25% of all men. The industry has been hit hard by shutdowns.
This is my 15-day notice to pay rent or move out. He just tapes them to the door. I've applied for several companies with no response. You have to cross your fingers and wait while you watch bills continue to pile in.
Kelly Lloyd Acosta has been out of work since the pandemic started. She was working multiple jobs in the service sector while getting her law degree.
This is a microscope.
Now she spends her time helping her children while they learn from home.
I got my real estate license and had not sold a home yet. The pandemic put the kibosh on it. I thought that I would be more viable, and as a hairstylist, that thing is shot. That's an on again, off again.
Last fall, a survey found that 1 out of 2 working moms say they're providing sole childcare and educational support for their kids, compared to only 1 out of 10 dads.
I would love a job that pays well from home, that doesn't get upset if your kids pop in.
There's a federal moratorium on evictions through the end of March, and California also has its own moratorium in place, which has been extended through June.
The eviction moratorium makes it so, and there are local, state, and federal ordinances in place that make it illegal to kick someone out of their place for non-payment of rent.
But landlords can still send eviction notices, and it's up to tenants to apply for protections on a monthly basis. Any misstep means a renter could lose their home.
So the landlords are the ones that are supposed to give you this piece of paper. And this is the declaration of COVID-19 related financial distress. I sign it, I go to the post office, make a copy, send her a copy, and keep my copy. It's just nerve-wracking.
A multi-billion-dollar COVID relief bill passed in California, But it comes with a few catches. The state is only willing to pay 80% of unpaid rent, meaning landlords miss out on the last 20%. So they lobbied the legislature to choose whether or not they want to accept that money on behalf of their tenants. And that could set a precedent for other states.
They're leaving it all to the hands of the landlords, if they want to accept it or if they don't. And what happens with people like myself? I'm going to get evicted, plus have a debt that I'm probably never going to be able to pay off.
Mendoza and Lloyd Acosta say their landlords haven't applied for relief funds. That leaves them at risk for eviction, and they'll have to figure out how to pay missed rent when the moratorium ends.
If I were to get evicted, my kids and I would live in my car.
It feels like life's threatening if you get kicked out of your house. There's a pandemic going on, and your house has your masks. And if you get kicked out of your house, how will you get your masks?
This is my children's safe haven. My 17-year-old daughter, I can speak more to her about the situation. The little one did have a panic attack. He's telling me, Mom, where are we going to live? Where are we going to go? And we're not going anywhere. There's nowhere to go. There's a lot of people that don't know that there's rights for tenants. Don't forget why we're here today. If people ask, you can give them a flyer, Let's work together and make this day better for all of us. I've been with ACE, which is the Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment. Want to put one right there? Look, want to put one right there? You want to put a tip on the bottom? Yeah. There's a lot of people that are not internet savvy. There's a lot of people that don't know how to connect themselves on a Zoom call.
Patricia's story is it's just one version of what we're seeing.
A lot of people are going to benefit from this rent relief, and I'm appreciative to that because that's what we've been fighting for. I've been going through this for a whole year. 3 landlords, 3 eviction notices. This is my most recent one from yesterday. I'm right now, really, I really want to fight for stopping all evictions. No loopholes. You know why I fight so hard and I put my story out there? Because no family should be going through this. None of us, not at this time, not during a pandemic. Where are we going to go? Thank you.
Mendoza's situation is more common than you'd think. Leading research has found that moms are having to take on more responsibility at home. That makes it harder to get back into the workforce, and it takes a big toll.
My name is Gemma Zamaro. I'm a professor at the University of Arkansas. I'm also an adjunct economist at the University of Southern California. I have been studying how women have been affected in comparison with men through this COVID-19 crisis.
My favorite type of hot chocolate is the type that's warm, that has the cream that's homemade from our house. Done.
I'm a mom myself. I'm in a privileged position where I have a job that is very flexible. Schools are open here, so that's another privilege. Back in March, the schools closed suddenly. I also was trying to figure out how to teach online for my students at the university.
Even if I wanted to wear my mask, I would because I'm eating.
Exactly. My parents got COVID during that time. Everything happened to me at the same time. And actually, this research came as a way to heal. As a researcher, I wonder, can I look at data and see how other moms are doing it? And the more I looked, the more I saw that my situation was not unique. A lot of moms, working moms, were suffering. Women with children have experienced the highest levels of psychological distress during this crisis. We see a huge spike that appeared in April. Women are facing much more challenges than in other economic crises. So for one, the crisis has affected economic sectors that are different. This crisis has affected more the service sector, things like restaurants, hotels, where more women work, while prior crises like the Great Recession of 2008 affected more manufacturing work that was more male-dominated. It's creepy, but it's funny. So we are seeing that women lost much more employment than men. And then on the other hand, the pandemic brought all these social distancing rules, and we have to be very careful, school closures associated with it, and that have hit working women with children much harder.
I need a bigger bike.
They also serve that role of taking care of the kids, and that has helped women over the past decades to be able to go into the labor force in higher numbers.
Don't go crazy, Danny.
Doing this research really helped me realize that I'm not the only one, I'm not alone. And that's the hope with my work, is that there is a better understanding of the challenges that women face, so we make it more normal.